Hi, Indian food lovers. It's Anupi with Indian as Apple Pie. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a snack food, a Moong dal namkeen, which is typically bought in packets at the Indian grocery stores. It is deep fried, but I'm going to actually show you how to bake it today so you can continue to eat it and eat it and eat it. It's going to be incredibly delicious, but also incredibly nutritious. You are going to love this recipe. Let's go. We're going to take the soaked Moong dal, the split and skinned, of course, the yellow, and we're going to drain it. I like to drain it over my sink, just like this. Super simple. Sometimes a strainer, the holes can be too big for this dal. And we're going to go ahead and take all of that out, put it right in here, and just let all that water drip away. Now we're going to boil the dal. Why do we do that, even though we've already soaked it? Well, I've tried it both ways, and if you don't boil it for just the 10 minutes, then what happens is you cook it and it cooks extremely hard. Like, it's difficult to chew it. It's just not that good. I've tried it a couple different ways and a couple different times. So I'm going to suggest boiling it. Now, I've seen some recipes that ask you to boil it for 20 minutes. I don't agree with it. I'd say 10 minutes tops. This is the type of dal that once you keep cooking it, it will cook down even more to the point where it'll just start to break down, which is what we want when we're making a dal, but it's not what we want when we're making this namkeen snack. So just cook it for about 10 minutes and then we will drain it and salt it, and I'll show you what to do in just a moment. So we're gonna put the dal, after it has boiled for 10 minutes, over the sink again and drain it. And whichever way you wanna drain it is fine. It's gonna sit for about 2 to 3 minutes so that all that water does drip away. And then 2 teaspoons of oil. You can use any vegetable oil you would like. I like to get it in there, and you really only need, I find, 2 teaspoons. I like to salt it now, because what happens if you salt it now with this 2 teaspoons of salt, it'll really cling to the dal as it bakes. And that's important, that at the end it doesn't fall away, because it's still a little bit wet. And we're gonna just stir this really well, and then we'll put it on a baking sheet. So now we're gonna get ready to bake this, but first, a couple things. The baking tray is large so that you have more surface to be able to spread out the dal. The other thing, note, is I've sprayed it with a little bit of oil. I don't use parchment paper. I did, but I prefer it to go right on the baking sheet because this is already sitting on a slightly warm burner, and that's why it's sizzling. See how quickly it starts to cook? Pretty cool. And then what we'll do is we'll just flatten this out, and it's going to go into the oven. We'll cook it for 15 minutes, pull it out, stir it, another 15, and then another 20. So we've cooked our dal 30 minutes. Let's pull it out of the oven. And I want you to see what you're gonna find. You're gonna find that the edges are cooked super well, right? They're almost crispy, but I need to cook the rest because in the middle, it's not cooked yet. So if this does take longer than you think, what I wanna do is I wanna work from the outside. And I'm gonna pull in. You don't have to be perfect, but I want to pull in as much dal as I can to the middle to really stir this up, mix it up. There it is. It's getting there. And then we're going to go ahead and flatten it all out again so that it's a thin layer. because it will cook up better that way. Oops, there's a little bit left in the corner. I had a little bit left on this spatula. Just go ahead and get that in there. And then shake it a touch. There you go. And then it goes right back in the oven to cook for another 15 minutes. All right, our dal is sizzling beautifully. And look, on the edges, it is indeed crunchy, but not so much in the middle. And that's important. That's why we're gonna grab it again. If you don't wanna scrape too hard, you can use a silicone spatula as well. Gonna mix this up. Stir, stir, stir. Get it all beautifully brought to the middle. Notice how too, as you cook, it is now getting a little smaller and the color is getting a little bit darker. That's what you want. This is how you're gonna work it. And then you can hear the change also in the crunch. You can just hear the difference in the noise that it makes as it's going across the baking tray. And then it's going to go in the oven again for now, believe it or not, another 20 minutes. Other recipes I've seen short-change the cook time. I want it to cook another full 20 minutes because that is going to be very important. To get it beautifully crunchy. Now it's going to be time to spice this up one last time with our Chaat Masala. This is a street food spice blend. It is so good. You need about 2 teaspoons, and look how the dal has cooked up and turned color. That's really important. And you want to hit it with the spice when it's warm, because that's when it's really going to stick to the dal. Listen to that. So beautifully crunchy. And what's amazing is that we got this crunch without deep frying. We got the crunch with just baking and a little bit of oil. Look, I have no problems with, eating deep fried whatever as a treat, but day to day, I want stuff baked, I want stuff air fried, I want stuff as healthy as I possibly can get it, because then I can just eat more of it. Oh my God. And here it is. That is your oven baked Moong dal Namkeen. It is perfect. For the recipe, head to indianisapplepie.com.